Hey y'all, thanks for coming back to watch another video. I truly do appreciate it. I've got 500 subscribers now. It's floating. I'll probably lose some, get some, I don't know. Don't want to toot my own horn yet. Let's go. So I'm making a video. This video is me taking my target out there, do some target practicing. I'm going to build a tripod, actually a couple tripods. I'm going to use one to hang my bow from. I'm going to talk about how I got started in traditional archery, and then basically why I quit traditional archery. And I lost some footage to this video. I had a camera set up right on the target to get some target footage. I lost that footage. So I'm going to do what I can with the footage I have. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please stick through it. Hit the like, subscribe if you like it, and make sure you go to notifications and click the bell, hit all, or you're not going to see any of the rest of them. I've been thinking about doing some live streaming. All my other friends are live streaming. I haven't done it yet. I don't know why. I'm afraid I'll mess it up probably, whatever. I guess that doesn't matter. But I'm thinking about doing live stream when I practice shooting. And if you guys want to see me practice live, leave a comment, let me know. Until then, let's get through the intro. Let's go.
There I was, back in the wild again.
Hey y'all, thanks for coming back to watch another video. I'm out here in the campsite. I'm gonna make a couple tripods to hang lanterns and hang my bow from while I'm out here practicing. We're gonna set up a little practice area here at the campsite. Let's go. Alright, I think I got enough to make 2 tripods. So I'll swing the camera around, you guys. Watch me trim these up. Alright y'all, now we'll tie some of these together, make some tripods. Some of these was hickory, a little bit hard to chop through because they're dried out a little bit, but the other ones are sassafras. And I'll tell you what, these sassafras trees, they start rotting pretty quick from the looks of it. Indeed. Now I'm going to lash 2 together, and then I'll bring the third one in and lay over the top of the first lashing and lash it on. Now I've seen guys where they lash all 3 together, but it seems to me when they go to stand it up, it doesn't always come out right and they kind of struggle with it. So we're going to skip the struggle and we're just going to put 2 together, lay the third one on top, lash it on, boom, done. I've got some diamond braided nylon. Eighth-inch diameter, I guess. It should work for what I need it for. Well, squirrel season's closing and rabbit season's closing pretty soon. And that means I need to try to get out here maybe with my pellet pistol, try to get me one of these squirrels. I might set up a live trap, because then I know I can catch one. I don't know. I'm just gonna tie a regular old, what is that, a slip knot? Stick it on here. I might be able to, probably will, take these with me on the 2026 Purple Rain Gang Rendezvous. So I can have something to hang my bow on, because I will not be able to cut anything off the Mark Twain National Forest. So I probably should take something, right? Probably should just take something, play it safe. Some of these son of a guns are pretty crooked. That's alright. This one here is going to be heavy. Got 2 hickory saplings. And I'll prop it together with the sassafras. Be the leaner. Boy, you guys missed it a while ago. There was a bunch of geese flew by. I think they landed over there at the pond by the RV park, which is about, that pond is about maybe 80 yards from me. not that far. Not very far at all. I threw some bird seed out here, so I've got a parrot. When I clean her cage out, she's kind of a picky eater, so she doesn't always eat all of the bird seed. So there's a lot left. I thought, you know, I might as well bring it out here, dump it out here, let these birds eat it. You know, why not? Well, every time I do that, the deer show up. So you guys need to pay attention to the game camera videos, because here in probably a week or two, there's going to be one coming out with tons of deer footage on it. I mean, and they're just right here, hanging out, eating bird seed. I think that's weird. Alright, we got these two put together. We'll stand them up in different spots, 5 and 10 yards. I probably won't get back to 10 yards today, but we're going to do a little shooting as soon as I stand these up. Let's go. I think right here, that right here is 5 yards. Brought the yardage pro just so I can check. Yep, right here is 5 yards, so I'll put a tripod right there. We're going to start out at 5. And then once we start grouping, we'll start taking steps back to group and keep grouping, I should say. Oh man, it pulled the string right out of my hand. Dang it. I'll just tie a square knot. That way I can untie it easier later if I need to. Square knot, real easy knot to untie, and one of the strongest knots you can tie. So remember that. One down, one to go. Now the other one will be back at 10 yards. And we won't be shooting back that far, so I don't think I'll make the second one. I think I'll just take the second one and use it to take to the camp out to hang my bow on. Yep. And it's mostly sassafras, so it'll be a lot lighter. got me a little hook. I'm hoping that will hook on here somewhere. That'll work. That'll work. You bet. Bow will hang right on there. Let's go. I'm gonna have to work on the little hook thing. It's not hooking the way I want it to. It's not a very good hooker. So, you know, I shot compound for over 20 years, probably closer to 30. And when I first started shooting traditional bows was because my boss heard me bragging about how good I was with my compound, and he's like, oh, that ain't nothing, try shooting traditional archery. I was like, psh, I can do that too. He's like, oh yeah, well, I got a Black Widow for sale, which he wasn't selling it, it was a friend of his. He said, if you think you're a good archer, he said, buy that Black Widow and go harvest something with that. I was like, I will, how much? Well, needless to say, I had to make payments on it. It was not cheap. But I got it and I still have it. My PSR recurve. Well, so I get this bow, finally get it paid off. I don't have a clue what I'm doing, but I don't act like it. I go to the archery shop. I got to get arrows and stuff, and I question them guys, pick their brains a little bit. They can tell I'm new, right? They know I don't know what I'm talking about. So they're giving me advice. I'm listening, kind of. So we get it tuned. We buy some arrows. They show me how to tune the arrows to the bow. We get it pretty much paper tuned. We didn't do bare shaft tuning. We just paper tuned it, called it good. Well, I shot that bow for 3 or 4 months at the bow archery shop, because they had their own little indoor range, and I'd go in there and shoot it after work and on the weekends, and never really could group them at 20 yards, nothing past 10 yards. But I was still acting like I knew what I was doing, didn't have a clue. Didn't know what kind of style I was using, nothing. Well, those guys seen me struggling with that recurve. One of them said, you know, we have a long bow and they're a little more forgiving. They're a little easier to shoot. If you want to try shooting a long bow, we have one for sale. I was like, all right, let me check it out. So they showed me a Damon Howitt Custom. It's an ML16, which I didn't know I didn't know what any of it meant. And it's still hard to find out what this particular bow, when it was made or anything. There's not much information on this particular bow. The ML16, I found out, stands for Martin Longbow. So this bow was sold after Martin bought out Howitt, but it was sold before Martin started putting their logo on the longbows, like the Savannah and whatnot. So this bow was sold before Martin could put their logo on it, but Martin had the rights to the bows, so the model number is ML16. It's really confusing. And I don't know if it was made in 77 or 97 or 87, but it was one of them. Martin bought out Hoyt in 76, so according to the serial number it could be a 77, a 87, or a 97. I don't know, but it's 65 pounds at 28 inches, which we all discovered my draw is not 28 anymore. It's like 27 and a half or 27 and a quarter. So that's all changed, but that means I'm not pulling 65 pounds. It'd be more like 62, 63, something like that, which is still a little heavy for me nowadays. But I'm going to get a string for it, and I'm going to actually shoot that bow to do warm-ups, because I heard on Shatterproof Archery video, it was actually a Kramer Ammons video. Shout out to Kramer Ammons and Shatterproof Archery. Kramer knows a lot. He gives out really good informative videos. You guys should check him out. He suggests using a heavier poundage draw bow to do warm-up, so that when you pick up your regular bow and draw it back, it's much easier. You're stretched out, you're pretty much warmed up and all pumped up. So if you go from, you know, 60 plus pounds down to 40 pounds, that's a big difference, right? So I'm going to start doing that. I got to get a string first, but once I get a string and do enough push-ups, I can put the string on. I don't know if I might have to have somebody help me string it. I don't know, I'll try. But we get her strung, and I'll start using that bow to do warm-ups, and then I'll start shooting the other two bows. So I'm going to try to harvest with this $119 bow, $115 bow. I'm going to try to harvest a whitetail this year, this fall season, bow season. And I'm going to be shooting my Black Widow again too, get my recurve out. That way I can grab either bow I want and go hunting with it. I'm going to try to harvest something, hopefully a whitetail, but I might start with squirrels and smaller stuff first. I don't know, but we're gonna harvest some stuff with these bows. We're not just going to practice, we're going to hunt. So I've been practicing on my draw. There's been quite a few things that I actually noticed and started working on, plus other people were giving me suggestions, you know. So when I'm drawing back, I got to relax the back of my hand, make sure there's no arm collapse in either arm, and basically just relax, focus on the target, draw to anchor, and shoot. I don't want to spend no time thinking about where I'm going to hit. I just want to stare at it and let my instincts kick in. I'm going to miss, but eventually I'll get dialed in. Now I know this just from practicing so far, but there's a lot of other guys out there that make videos that say the same thing, and it's true. It's hard to explain instinctive shooting without saying you're not sighting, because you have to sight in order to see what you're shooting at, right? But what is going on is your brain is adjusting where the arrow is going to go. You're not looking down the arrow. Now I've heard of that shotgun technique, but that's a 3-under drawing way up here under the eye, so you're looking down a shotgun. Simulates that. I'm not doing that. So I'm just gonna focus on instincts, just looking at the target. That's all I'm going to think about. I'm not going to think about my draw. I'm not going to think about nothing else. I can always look at this video later and see if I was making any mistakes in my draw. but the odds are I'm going to see it when I hit the target. My arrow is going to tell me if I'm making a mistake. Usually that's how it works, right? Like your arrow, it'll be off or it'll be angled wrong, so it's going to show you that you did something wrong. So that's what we're going to focus on, grouping arrows right on the dot, looking at one spot and trying to get 3 arrows as close as we can. And once we start getting those arrows grouped, which this will be the next video, we're just going to shoot groups, but the next video we'll start shooting at individual dots to bring it in. And then once we hit 3 dots, Kramer Kramer's idea too right here. I mean Kramer Ammon's suggestion. This is one of the ways he practices, because you want to keep it fun, right? So we'll get our grouping, and then once we get our grouping, we'll start aiming at single little dots, 3 arrows at a time. Once we hit all 3 dots in one spot, we'll take a step back, 1 step back, and we'll shoot at 3 dots again. If we miss, we got to step forward, and we'll just keep doing that until we work our way back to 10 yards. Now this is where I'm going to hunt too. The deer come right through here, so this fall when hunting season opens again, I'll try to come out here and harvest a deer. If it doesn't work out, I've got other places to go that should be pretty simple, pretty easy to hunt. You know, I won't have to do no tracking or scouting or nothing. I already know the land and know the routine. But this is right here in my backyard, so if I can harvest one right here, I can show everybody that if you want to hunt, you can. It doesn't take very much land or very big little patch of woods to hunt. Alright, so now we're going to do some shooting. I'm going to shut up and we'll start shooting. Alright, so I just did my compound thing again, where I held the bow up. So I don't want to hold the bow up, I want it down. We'll draw, stare at the sight, stare at the target. I'm off. That's why we gotta practice. But we gotta have fun. See, I instinctively brought it up and in just a little bit. Now let's do it again. Definitely got to get a quiver. Hopefully I'll be getting one in the mail before long. No cheap one. I could make one. Don't feel like it. Alright, relax. I saw that one. I saw that was too low when I let go. Now what I'm noticing is I'll see, I mean, I'm not trying to see it, but I can see that my arrow is much lower than what I'm looking at when I release. So what's going to happen is eventually my brain is going to start calculating that distance, and it's going to put me right where I want it. Let's go. A stack of wood's right in the way. Might have to redo this whole tripod setup deal. My anchor was off on that one. Might put my tripod down by the target. Just carry my bow down there, hang it up, grab my arrows, grab my bow, come back. I don't know, I could put it back here though, actually. So it's just right behind me. I think that's what I'll do after this. Okay, now we're gonna focus. All these cameras are gone. I'm gonna get my own space. Got a bunch of dang stumps I need to chop out again. And that first shot, keep shooting high. That one was way off. Way to the right. Now I'm all over the place. That grouping was bad. The three before that was way better, so I gotta focus. I gotta quit thinking about all this camera and tripod, and if somebody over there in the RV park's watching me, I gotta relax and just focus on my target. Think nothing. Think relax. Think target. Hit the target. A little better. Got to get used to hanging that bow up. Boy, that one stump right there is going to end up breaking my neck. My pickaxe ain't out here. I'd chop that dude out right now. Sassafras. It'll break real easy. Alright. I'm not going to bore you guys with an hour of me shooting the target. But you see what I'm doing? I'm trying to group them. Starting to pull them in there and group them. But I'll keep practicing grouping these. I'm going to be doing a camp out in a couple of weekends. And there's going to be a young man there. Mission Discover, and me and him gonna do a little bow shooting. That guy's already good at 20, you know what I mean? So I hope I don't bore him with my up close shooting, because I probably will. But I think he normally shoots at like 10 yards or something, so I'm pretty confident I can do 10 too. Get a few rounds in, kind of let my brain figure it out where 10's at, be able to drill them, you know what I mean? Just gotta let the old brain figure it out. And we're gonna call this the last one. Not bad. We're in a 6-inch group. Could be a little bit tighter group. It will be by the time I get done practicing today, and then tomorrow and the next day, and might have to skip a day because I'll probably be kind of sore. But we'll start getting her grouped in tight, try to stay in that 1-inch to 4-inch circle. Yeah, I think that's a 4-inch circle. 2 and 4. We're going to try to stay in that group, but I'm not going to quit. And you know, even though my boss talked me into buying a bow, and then I went and bought the long bow and put the recurve up and started shooting the long bow, couldn't hit anything with the long bow. Was going to traditional archery, I don't know if they were tournaments or just shoots, you know, like archery shoots, because I don't remember anybody getting any trophies or anything. So I think they were just traditional archery shoots on a 3D range, and I was watching everybody trying to figure out, you know, what kind of style I should use, or why this guy shoots different than that guy. And I'm racking my brain. I can't. And anyways, it becomes so confusing that I just quit. I quit shooting trad bows. I put them up, grabbed my compound, stuck with what I knew. Well, now, you know, I've had these bows well over 20 years now, and it's time to break them out and start shooting them. Time to learn. Compounds put up. I don't care too much about shooting it right now. I mean, it's not a challenge for me anymore. I need a challenge. This is a challenge. So I'm going to work on this. I'm not going to give up. When I miss left or right, I'm not going to sweat it. If it starts to aggravate me, I'm going to squatch it. Okay? I'm going to keep on keeping on. I want everybody out there to have the same attitude. If you're having a hard time, you think you're all by yourself, you're not by yourself. A lot of people out there suffering, having a hard time, mental illness, depression, and there's people you can call. Call 988, they'll help you. They'll get you on the right path. And if you don't want to talk to a stranger like that, call a friend, call a family member, And when I say call a friend or a family member, call every one of them. Every one of them. Okay? There's a couple times in my life I wish I would have answered the phone for a couple of my friends. Maybe someday I'll tell that story, but it's hard for me to tell. So it's really important, and I know firsthand how important it is to listen to your friends when they need you. So if you're having a hard time, you get a hold of somebody. Don't give up. Don't never quit. Okay? That doesn't make it better. Pray to God. Reach out. Find a religion. That helps the soul. Okay? It really does. It will help ease a lot of pressure, because you can hand all your problems to God. All of them. You can hand them right over. Okay? And He'll take them. And He'll start guiding you down the path you need to go. Alright, so don't sweat the little stuff. Squatch it if it gets under your skin. Keep on keeping on. God loves you. God bless everybody out there. Peace.